Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, indeed. And Zach, just so you know, it is a sin to breathe during the 10 seconds of silence.
You're a sin.
Yeah, so you don't say it's not a sin to breathe during the 10 seconds of silence, because actually it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the 10 seconds of silence before we actually start recording. And so I was like, I'm going to go 10 seconds of silence in 3, 2, and then there was 2 seconds of silence, and Zach went,
Oh, bullshit. I did. Crap.
Really?
I did not sniff
Really?
like that.
Really?
I just took a breath.
the microphones are sensitive. I'll bleep that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Make sure you
My
delete
bad.
that. Zach's trying to make us lose our family-friendly rating here. You're
I'm
going to
not-
get a
I'm not-
strike against us from YouTube.
I'm not used to crap getting thrown at me while we're actually on air. I'm used to having when we're off air.
Well, I'm going to
You
be
don't
like
want
a monkey.
YouTube strike.
Oh, God, no, not one of those.
Actually, I already have some stuff in here that'll pretty much guarantee us a YouTube strike, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
probably.
Because they can go fornicate themselves. What are we going to talk about today? Gun Control 2017. Are you ready to surrender? Are you mentally prepared to surrender? I don't know. Let's talk about that. We've got some really good news. Good news from the world of Gozer. Now, actually, if you guys have Netflix, if you are Marvel geeks like we are, I've been a Marvel geek since I was, 10 years old or 11 years old or 9 or whatever. I was reading Spider-Man comics back when they were in the double digits, like Spider-Man 38, stuff like that. And of course, I'm hip to The Punisher, and we're going to talk about that. Kenny O. We're going to thank Kenny O, and we're going to talk about our bump stock. So we've got myself, I am Paul Markle. I'm the host of the show. I'm the pimp hand of America. Wasn't a job that I was looking for, but it was a job that I accepted because this country needs a slap. And joining me in the mountaintop studio is Zachary, the one who wants to say naughty words and make us lose our family-friendly rating.
Once again, I apologize. And hi, I'm Zach.
Zach, the shipping ogre. That's right. If you order from us, he will touch your package. And then in Salt Lake City at the satellite studio, we have Jared.
I am Jared Markle. I am the COO here at Student of the Gun, and I also co-host the radio show that you're listening to right now.
Isn't that amazing how that worked? He produces it.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
You can do whatever you want.
No.
I'm going to ask you guys that are listening a question, and I want you to answer it on Facebook, if you have Facebook. If not, go to the Student Lounge if you're in there. Just somewhere, give me an answer and tag me. All right? So if Student of the Gun started doing a live show, would you watch it? It's a simple question, yes or no answer.
Well, there you go.
Well, the answer should be yes, because if you're a fan of our show, you should watch everything that we
Well,
do.
they people might say no. I don't have that kind of time on my hands. So
Make time.
What else is in the show notes? Well, let me see. Thank you to everybody who participated and who is participating in the latest SOTG giveaway. That's right. Call me Giveaway Paul. I'm just giving it away. We are giving it away, and we're giving away a Defendar 15 inertia fire, bump fire, slide fire, whatever you want to call it, stock from Fostech. It's not new in the box. No, it's actually used. It's actually been used in the production, in the television video production of Student of the Gun TV. And I decided that I didn't want to be greedy. I wanted to share the love with one of you. And if you would like to receive this, well, you can go to SOTG giveaway. That's SOTG giveaway, all squished together, .com, and sign up. Get your name in the hat, and you could be the lucky winner. Yes, you could. Before we thank Kenny O, do you want to go ahead and play the trailer music? Jared, do you want to do that?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, because this song has this is a twofer for me. I've been reading Punisher comics since they were new, like way back when. And, the Punisher actually was a Vietnam veteran. And that's how long the Punisher's been around. They had to modify the Punisher from being a Vietnam veteran to being an Iraq veteran. Because a Vietnam veteran today, a Vietnam Punisher would be like 71. And while that might be cool, and a lot of you guys out there, you're like, hey, I'm a Vietnam vet and I'm 71. Shut up. Yeah, but you're not walking around the streets of New York beating up thugs. You could probably still shoot them, but
Although old Punisher is very cool.
Old Punisher is very cool. So we've got the Punisher, which I've been a Marvel geek, like I said, since I was a teenager, before I was a teenager. And then Metallica, who I've been a fan of since their first album, around circa 1984 or so. So perk up your ears and listen to this. Gotta admit, I'm geeking out right now. I'm geeking out a little bit. I've been waiting. Zachary, have we been waiting for a while for this?
Yes, we have.
Ever since they introduced Punisher and Daredevil season 2, we're like, oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please.
Give him his own show.
They're just going to give him his own show. And of course they're like, yeah, calm down. We're going to give him his own show, and it's going to be way better than Iron Fist. It's going to be better than Luke Cage. It's going to be better than season 2. Let's face it, season 2
was the Punisher show.
Of Daredevil was the Punisher show with a bunch of stupid, pointless Daredevil crap thrown in.
Yeah, and Elektra being useless and pointless.
Yeah. Netflix.
That disc he pulled out of his picture frame. What do you think that's for?
I don't know. I don't know, but oh man, it's just, you guys are going to have to watch the trailer. We put the link in the show notes. If for some crazy, insane reason you've been living under a rock and you just found out that they mixed the Metallica 1 with the Punisher trailer, and when you get all the way to the end, we didn't make you listen to the whole 7 minutes, but when you get all the way to the end, they mixed the drum beats with the gunfire, and it's pretty amazing. They did a great job. Congratulations to Netflix. Congratulations to Marvel. I hope, like I said, we're going to start watching this weekend, or as you're hearing this, we just started watching it. So I hope they don't screw it up. I had high hopes. I know this is geek stuff, and if you don't care, well, you don't care. But I had high hopes for Iron Fist. Like first 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, all right, and then,
and at the end of, it was Luke Cage, right?
Yeah.
Where she walked over to the pole and pulled off the Wing Chun lessons. I got like super giddy. Tonight. I got like excited. I was like, oh,
it's going to be an Iron Fist. It's going to be badass. And then,
because Iron Fist is cool, except the show sucked.
Yeah, there's that.
And he was the worst part of the Defenders.
Ever.
It was my heart could not have been more broken.
We need to just do a Paul and Zach Geek Out podcast.
You want to do it right now?
No.
I think that you guys have a Zoom recorder right there, so that would be cool.
Zoom.
We do.
Yeah, speaking of Zoom recorders, Jared wanted to announce something. We have advanced ourselves technologically. We have black carbon steel microphones, and we have advanced mixing boards, and we have all this stuff set up in our home studio. But we've, thanks to our friend Kenny Ortega, we now have Studio in a Box.
Yep, we do. Kenny was nice enough to, after the abortion that we called the On the Road, the grad program. What did we call that? I don't even remember.
We called it Jared's good idea that didn't work out.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well. The On the Road episode that we did at the grad program Shindig, that didn't work out so well. So Kenny decided, hey, I'm going to send you guys a Zoom recorder. So he got us a Zoom recorder that now is like the size of my palm, that we can take the 2 microphones and a recorder, and that's it. That's all we need to take with us.
Yeah.
No computers or anything.
We can go on the road. We've got a Studio in a Box.
Yep.
So in addition to black carbon steel microphones and mixing boards and studios with the soundproofing stuff on the walls, we can actually do it on the road. Yeah. We always could do it on the road. It was just a pain in the butt because we had to put everything in a Pelican case size box, and
we had to worry about stuff getting broken.
Yeah, and by the time you set it all up, and we've done stuff on the road before, but one of the reasons we didn't do more of it was because it was just such a pain in the rump to do.
Yep.
So now it's not a pain in the rump, and we can be like Chris Jericho or Steve Austin doing a podcast on the road from a hotel room,
or sitting in his truck under the underpass.
Yeah, that was funny.
Truck under an underpass, recording into his Zoom recorder because he has to get the show done before deadline.
So thank you, Kenny, for that. It's going to help us out a lot.
There you go. Thank you.
You're cool.
Our student of the gun audience is the bestest ever. Of course, you already knew that. And because that, Zach's going to do some stuff. Zach, just give them the 30-second reminder about Black Friday.
All right, this Friday, from starting Friday, ending on Sunday, we're going to be having a Black Friday sale on the studentofthegungear.com. And one of the great deals and bundles we're going to have is what I'm calling the Life Preserver bundle. It is you get the student kit, student pocket lifesaver, the regular pocket lifesaver, and the enhanced pocket lifesaver in one economic bundle for one low price.
Well, there you go.
And that will be available.
It's like a 3
from. Yeah, it'll be available from Black Friday to Sunday. And then after that, it's gone. So get it while you can.
Why's it got to be black, man?
Because I said so.
Okay.
Something about ink and paper and old people.
Ledgers. Something about ledgers. All right. Well, with that, it is Tuesday and time for everybody's favorite episode, Quiet Time.
Meet Sid. Sid doesn't text back. Sid does simplify suppressor ownership. Meet Sid, the new interactive kiosk that makes the fingerprinting and paperwork of silencer applications quick, easy, and pain-free. If you're ready to own a silencer, make time to meet Sid, your new buddy in the silencer business. Available at selected Powered by Silencer shop retailers.
Hey, Zach, what did you find? Was it online? Where did that VHS tape come from?
I bought it off Amazon.
He bought it off Amazon. Zachary Jacob bought what's it called? The Joy of Painting, Volume 1, How to Paint.
It's a Bob Ross instructional video. It's called Times Past.
Times Past. It's a VHS tape produced in 1994, hosted by Bob Ross. And you can put it in your VCR
that we have,
and
that leads into our CRT TV.
Yeah, and Bob Ross will show you how to paint.
I'm going to watch that tonight when we get home.
You need to.
When I relace my shoes.
And of course, you guys should know, if you're a student of the Gun Geeks, or even if you're not, that really soothing music at the beginning of Quiet Time is the opening from Bob Ross's The Joy of Painting. And if you ever are feeling really frustrated or angry or like to hell with the world, and just take a seat. If you've got Netflix, take a seat, go into Netflix, type in, Bob Ross, it's on the, I don't know, it's in the favorites or whatever, the frequents or the recents. There's actually two different shows, there's like, what is it? Winter is Beautiful or something like that.
It's Chill with Bob Ross.
Chill
and Beauty
with
is
Bob
everywhere.
Ross and Beauty is Everywhere. But anyway, so if you're ever feeling angry or frustrated or pissed off, or you're just like hating the world, watch Bob Ross for 22 minutes or 23 and a half minutes or however long the episodes are. And you by the time you get to the end, you'll feel better about things. I can almost guarantee it. If you don't, then you need like heavy medication or something. But for the rest of us, just do it. That is the gift that Bob Ross gave us, and it just keeps on giving. He left us. Bob Ross, he's getting his great reward right now, and he left us behind. But he left us behind, how many episodes did we say there were, Jared or Zach?
There was like 3,000, I think.
No, it wasn't that many.
I don't know. It was like a couple hundred.
Several hundred. But anyway.
More than one.
Every week on Quiet Time, we use this opportunity, and thank you to our friends at Silencer Shop. We use this opportunity to discuss things that are a little bit more cerebral. And we talk about reading, and we talk about thoughtful things. And I'm going to bring something up because it ties in with our subject today. The holy grail of the student of the gun is what, Jared? What is the holy grail? What is the ultimate find for any student of the gun?
The Political Thought of the American Revolution.
That's right, by Clinton Rossiter.
Yep.
There's a book. It's called The Political Thought of the American Revolution by Clinton Rossiter. It was published in the late 1960s. It used to be used as a textbook in high schools and colleges across the United States because Clinton Rossiter, he did a really fantastic job breaking down the political thought of the American Revolution. Why did these guys, all these, the Hamiltons and the Adamses and the Jeffersons and the Washingtons and all those other guys, the Nathan Hales and, all the, give me liberty or give me death, all those people. Why were they thinking the way they were thinking? What went into the process? And we need to understand that. You're like, well, American Revolution. Oh, we want freedom and freedom, freedom, and freedom. No, that's not good enough. You just can't throw the words freedom around because, well, today in the United States of America and many parts of the world, freedom has been altered, or the word or the term freedom is whatever the government decides to let you do is freedom. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, that's not it. I got freedom of speech, and I got freedom of this, and freedom, and I got rights, and I got da. You can't just say that. You can't just throw words around and force them to mean things. I know that's That is the millennial generation way, is just throw words around and force them to mean things. But if we're going to be thoughtful students of the gun, if we're going to claim that a firearm is an instrument of liberty, which it is, then we need to be able to back that up with something intelligent, with some type of information. And when you go to the political thought of the American Revolution, it's a paperback book. And like I said, it's out of print. And those that are out there, and those that aren't are not. And, about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I guess it's been about 5 years or so, I've been recommending that people buy this. My first copy came from a thrift store. My wife bought it for 50 cents. She said, well, you're into the American Revolution and things like that. I thought you'd be interested in this. And I got it, and I'll admit that I got it, and I set it on a shelf, and I didn't even open it for months. Then I opened it, and I started reading it, and I kept reading it. And I was like, holy crap. The words on these pages are gold. So I went to Amazon, and I found another copy for $3, and I bought that, and I started telling people. And what did we do, Jared? We ran eBay and Amazon out of copies of this book.
All gone.
Yeah. We started recommending it, and you guys out there started buying it, and all of a sudden, they're gone. And then people realized that it didn't take long for people to say, hey, all of a sudden there's this like peak in interest in this book. And we have one. I have one copy. I'll sell it for $100 or $50. But every once in a while, and you guys are really good at this, and I truly appreciate that, especially our Liberty Mastermind people. Our grad program people and the Liberty Mastermind group, if they've already got a copy and they find one at a good deal, they'll put that link up. And you got about 5 minutes maybe to get in there and use it before it's gone. But if you can find and get your hands on a copy of The Political Thought of the American Revolution by Clinton Rossiter, you need to do that. This book was written before the current era of revisionist history and political correctness. That's the problem with the books that are written today. Most of them, these academic books, are written, and they're written toward the idea of, well, certain political facts and certain parts of history are offensive, and so we're not going to talk about those. Certain parts of history might make people feel bad, or, might not be inclusive, so we won't talk about that. Or we'll just skip right over it. For instance, the American Revolution began because of gun control. You're like, no, that's not true at all. I went to school, and they told me it was about taxation and representation, and no. Yeah, I know that's what they told you in school, but the fact of the matter is the colonists were being taxed. They had the Intolerable Acts, which was a group of basically was taxation. They had the Stamp Act, the Intolerable Act, the Tea Act. We had all these different things that led up to, in 1770, they had the Boston Massacre, which really wasn't. And if you went to school, actually, when I went to school, Jared, were you taught that the Boston Massacre really wasn't when you went to school?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, when Mr. Porter taught us American history, we talked about the Boston Massacre, and he said it really wasn't. And the fact of the matter is that the people who got shot actually were instigating it, but it was a perfect propaganda tool for the Sons of Liberty and the people who were trying to get rid of the British. And the fact is if you guys know your history, John Adams, the president, was the defense attorney for the soldiers accused in the Boston Massacre, and he got him acquitted. I know. You're like, what? I never learned any of that. I know. So if you want to understand how this grand experiment in self-government that we call the United States of America, the representative republic, how this all got started, what they were thinking, what they based it upon. People are like, well, yeah, they just sat down in the room and they wrote a bunch of stuff and articles of confederation and declarations and constitutions, and they wrote all that stuff. Yeah, but why? What did they base that on? What historical reference were they using? Because you can't just throw out the words freedom and liberty and force them to mean something. You have to understand where and why they came about and why the United States of America is unique amongst all other countries in the world. And I know you guys are out there, you're like, well, Paul, now hang on a second. I'm listening to you in, you name it, wherever. You say the name of the country. And we have a constitution in our country, so shut up. Yeah, but you don't have a Bill of Rights. And if you do have a Bill of Rights, it isn't really rights, it's privileges that have been granted to you by the state. That is the big difference between the United States of America as a representative republic. That's the way it was founded. I know we've kind of gotten away from that, but the fact of the matter is it was founded that way. There are countries all over. I mean, you have countries with dictatorships that technically on the books have these things called constitutions. As a matter of fact, I was just reading yesterday. I'm almost done with the book Nation of Sheep, and I've actually recommended it on here. But they talked about South Korea and how one of their first tyrannical presidents, Syngman Rhee, he wanted the Constitution changed. He wanted it amended so that he could keep being the president, because at the time the president was elected by duly elected members of the Assembly, which we would call the Congress, and he wanted a popular vote. He wanted it to be a popular vote, and so he just told them to change the Constitution. So they just changed it like that. Many countries in the world have constitutions, but they're easy to change and alter. They're like, oh, well, today we have the internet and smartphones, and we're way smarter than our predecessors were. So let's just change all that stuff. That really doesn't work that way. If you're going to continuously change it, it's really pointless. Now, the other book that you can get right now, the Holy Grail of any student of the gun, if you are a dedicated, serious, hardcore student of the gun, every time you find yourself near a resale shop, a used book shop, anything, you will go in there and you'll look for Political Thought of the American Revolution. And when you find that, man, it's going to be like four-leaf clover stuff. You're going to be excited. Now, the other one that you can get pretty easily, but you need to read if you're a student of the gun, is Liberal Fascism by Jonah Goldberg. And Jared put a link in there for you, an Amazon link. Now, Jared, this Amazon link to the Political Thought, is that actually there right now? Oh, yeah.
It's there, but it's like $80.
Yeah. So what you want to do is go to Amazon and put Political Thought in the wish list, and then when it's not $80,
what I would do is I would check out all of your local thrift stores, Goodwill or whatever you guys have close to you, and go scour the book section. And then even I know here in Salt Lake City there's like a rare bookstore, and I haven't been there yet. I need to go there. But I assume that because it's a rare bookstore, all the books in there are twice as expensive as they would be in the first place.
Now, don't get me wrong. The Political Thought of the American Revolution is worth every penny that you would pay for it. It's worth $20. It's worth $50. The information in there. This is the scary thing about this is the reason these books are all, they were all on Amazon used books and eBay and so forth is because they stopped using them as textbooks in the United States. They stopped teaching, using them as high school reference books and college reference books. Because and I got to believe that they stopped doing that because if you read that book and if it's explained to you and if you understand how the United States of America was formed, based on that information that you've just been given, you can look around and say, whoa, this is what's going on in this country today in the United States is wrong. And you can look to these left-wing politicians, we should do that because it's the right thing to do. The nice thing to do and the right, that's just right. It's just nice. It's just what we should do. That doesn't make it constitutional. And it doesn't make it the job of the government. It's not the government's job to do nice things or right things or good things. That's not their job. And you say, well, how do you know that? Because I read all about the founding, because I educated myself, because I'm not a dunderhead millennial. So today's quiet time topic is this. Number one, Holy Grail. If you can get your hands on The Political Thought of the American Revolution by Clinton Rossiter, do it. And in the meantime, while you're searching and trying to get yourself a copy of that, go ahead and pick up a copy of Liberal Fascism by Jonah Goldberg and read it. Because what's going on today in our country, in our world, you say, oh, man, the world's coming apart and these, student protests and this and that. It's not new. They're just replaying the old playbook. They're just went back to the original playbook, and they're doing it again. So avail yourself to that information. All right. And, of course, the links are here in the show notes. Crossbreed Holsters makes the Super Tuck Deluxe, and they are a friend of Student of the Gun. Absolutely they are. So you want to be a friend of theirs, go to crossbreedholsters.com. They want you to be an armed citizen, not just sometimes, but actually all the time. I know, it's crazy, right? Froglube is green. It's minty fresh. It is bio-based. That means it's non-petroleum. It's extreme. Yes, it is. And Froglube is a veteran-owned company. So you might want to think about supporting those guys. That'd be a good thing to do. And they're good people. We know them. All right. You can get Froglube from Brownells.com. You can get it from Froglube.com. You can get it wherever your favorite lubrication products are sold. We're just going to run with that one for a little while. And you can, if you've got a Century Arms gun, if you got one of their C39 V2s or one of the rifles, the pistols, the SBRs, you can Froglube them. I think it's a good idea. We generally Froglube our guns and our swords as well. We Froglube our guns and our swords. Century Arms is giving away another gun. They're giving away an underfolder with ammo and a bunch of swag, banana clip patches, and all kinds of stuff. And you say, but Paul, I don't know how to do that. Go to studentofthegun.com. And after you're done there, go to centuryarms.com and check it out. DuraCoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun, beginning and end of sentence. You can avail yourself to all the goodness that DuraCoat has to offer. DuraCoat is it's a brand name. It's kind of like Kleenex or Band-Aid or Jell-O or whatever. And you can get DuraCoat products from our good friends at Lauer, Lauer, weaponry.com. All right. What has Brownells got going right now? I bet you if you go to Brownells.com, I don't even know what day it is that you're listening to this show. You could be listening to it in 2019. Or you could be listening to it on Tuesday. I don't know. But I bet you if you go over to Brownells.com right now and you sign up for their newsletter, that there's going to be some kind of promotion going on, where there's a discount code on shipping, a discount on ammo, a sale on optics. You don't know. You don't want to miss it. Just go to Brownells.com, sign up for their newsletter, and you won't be disappointed.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right, guys, are you ready to surrender? What? Well, I got a story here from NBCnews.com, and quite gleefully, NBCnews.com on November 16th, 2017, published this headline: Bipartisan Deal on Gun Control Unveiled. Oh, and you know that they just creamed in their collective panties when they wrote this headline. Washington, a bipartisan group of senators Thursday unveiled legislation to improve background checks for gun sales, a narrow measure that attempts to address a recent spate of mass shootings. The bill represents an incremental update to existing law, but has the best chance of any effort to pass through Congress in recent years, with the weight of support from senior Senate Republicans and bill crafted by John Cornyn, go fornicate yourself, and Chris Murphy, go fornicate yourself as well. All right. So you guys can read all the ridiculous nonsense in there if you want. And they're like, oh, John Cornyn, and he went and he wept and looked at flowers and stuff. And all right, listen up, you freaks and idiots. So what we're supposed to believe, this is how stupid the American people are supposed to believe. So we have the Las Vegas massacre. And ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone in my listening audience that truly believes whichever version of the story we're being given right now? Because the versions of the story that we've been given by the sheriff's department, by the FBI, by the local, Las Vegas Metro, they keep changing. So I'm not sure. It's kind of like software, like Las Vegas Massacre official story 3.1. Okay, well, no, we're up to, what are we up to now, Jared? We're up to like a 7.0 official story 7.0. Does anybody else feel like they're being deliberately lied to? Like we're supposed to be that stupid? Now the latest thing was that Johnny Scumbag there in the Vegas hotel room, the dead body in the Vegas hotel room, was severely depressed over gambling losses. So, what now? So he decided to load 29 rifles into his room and commit a mass murder because he was depressed over gambling losses. Really? Really? Oh, and he fired over 100 rounds at the security guard in the hallway before turning his guns on the crowd. And the security guard got shot by a rifle bullet, but was in such good condition that he disappeared and ended up in Mexico for a couple of days, and then reappeared magically on the Ellen DeGeneres show 4 days later. What? Okay, so there's that. So we've got the Las Vegas massacre, which I'm sorry, I don't have a tinfoil hat. We're being lied to. That story stinks from top to bottom. All right, and he passed background checks. And they're like, oh, this guy passed background checks. So he bought the guns, supposedly, all the guns that he had, we're being told that he purchased legally. Oh, crap. Well, all right, let's go to, what was the last one? Or not the last one, the one in Texas, the Texas church shooting. And they're like, yeah, oh, crap. We made the guy go through a background check, and according to the existing law, he was not allowed by law to purchase a firearm. But, well, the Air Force was negligent in their requirements to report the fact that the scumbag. So we have a bad person who wants to do bad things, and they follow the government guidelines and end up getting a gun anyway because the government screwed up. Okay. Then we have the latest one in California where the bad guy was not allowed by law to have a gun, had actually restraining order or a judgment against him prohibiting him from possessing guns, but he still did. So, knowing what we know in just those three incidents right there, your senators and congressmen are going to go to a microphone and they're going to tell you, the American people, well, what the solution to a failure of gun control laws is more gun control laws. Well, the government obviously just doesn't have enough control. We don't have enough bureaucracy. We're not spending enough money. So what we need to do is you people out there, you peasants, need to give us more control. If you would only give us more control, we could stop these things from happening. No, that's a lie. Ben Franklin said it 200 plus years ago. Those who are willing to surrender their liberty for the promise of safety and security or security deserve neither. It's always been a lie. It will always continue to be a lie. And the only people that will believe it are people who are mush brains and are driven by their emotions. Well, we have to do something, Paul. We gotta do something. We can't let this keep happening. Hey, moron. We've had guns in America for 240 plus years. We haven't had mass murders. Well, because the AR-15 didn't exist. The Thompson submachine gun you used to be able to buy in hardware stores. Yes. In 1928, if you had the cash, you could walk into a hardware store, buy an M1928 Thompson submachine gun, no background check. Take it home with you. Full auto. Yep. Yeah. No background check. Full auto. You could buy it from a hardware store. Remember all the mass murders and church shootings and mall shootings and school shootings that went on in the 20s and 30s with Thompson full auto? And you say, well, no, I don't remember that. That's because it didn't happen. We have a degenerate, deviant nation. We have a nation of monsters and mongoloids who have been raised to not, who they have not been required. There's no punishment in America because it's not your fault. According to liberals and left-wing politicians, nothing is your fault. It's all institutionalized racism. And I got a question for you. If any of you live in an area where your politicians, your ruling class, your rulers have decided they're going to support this bill, ask them, will your gun control bill apply to members of the state, to state employees? You want to ban this and that and the other thing. Okay, great. Will that apply to everyone residing in the United States of America, or does it only apply to the citizens and it exempts the state? And they're going to be like, well, no, there's an exemption in there for people who work for the government. Oh, that's the definition of tyranny. How am I the only one on planet Earth or in the United States of America that understands the definition of tyranny? When you allow the rulers to make up laws that apply to the citizenry and exempt themselves from those laws, that is tyranny. That is not representative republicanism, and it's not even democracy. Because I know all the Democrats and left-wing puke bags like say, we live in a democracy, and America's a democracy, and freedom democracy. No, it's not. Number one, it's a representative republic. It's not a democracy. You're a moron. And number two, when you allow representatives, your own representatives, to exempt themselves from the laws that they apply to you, that is the definition of tyranny. Textbook. If you're looking for one, when the government creates laws and applies them to you and exempts themselves from those laws, that's tyranny. So let's just say that, and we've got way too many ruling class elitists in our state capitals and our nation's capital. Let's just say that they decide that for the interest of safety and security, that we're going to pass a bill that expands the overreach and the outreach of the United States government, and we're going to decide that this and that and the other thing, all those things that were legal yesterday, we just decided they're illegal today, and if you have them, you're a peasant, we're going to fine you, we're going to put you in jail. My question to you is, are you ready to surrender? And must you, by law, morally and legally, must you surrender? And I know a lot of you guys are out there, you're like, farfignugan not. No way. Go fornicate yourself. I'm not going to do that. They say, well, why? What do you base that upon? Do you base it upon your feelings and emotions, or do you base that upon fact and history and law? And how do you know which is fact, history, and law? What is genuine precedent? What is a right? And what is a privilege? And are they the same? And how do you know the difference? It's called education. That's what we just talked about during quiet time. So, yeah, they're gonna ram some. They're gonna expand the outreach. That is basically what they want to do. Expand the outreach of the federal government. Give the federal government and the state governments more power to regulate your life, and that's going to keep you safe. And when gun control fails, they never say, "Wow, that gun control failed. Maybe we should, do something else." No, we just need more of it. Jared? What have I been saying for about since the second I stepped in front of this black carbon steel microphone?
A lot of things.
There's never enough gun control. They will never ever look at England. They've been they've had gun control for how long? Now it's gun control is not enough. We have to have knife control. Right? They will never ever ever have enough. They will never be satisfied until you are a completely disarmed tax slave. Until you're a drone working for the state. All right, kids. Tomorrow we're going to have we'll have a SWAT Fuel fitness talk, fighting fitness tomorrow, and Jared's got some stuff to talk about. And looks like Zach's going to talk about the sweet Buddha patches. And it's going to be a good time. Make sure that you join us. What do you give me that face for?
It was supposed to be like a surprise announcement, like, "Hey, we're launching them."
Oh well.
Well, now it's not a surprise anymore.
Well, they didn't know what the announcement was going to be until you just said it, so you ruined it yourself.
What else was it going to be?
All right, children. Remember, you're a beginner once, student for life.